everyone, I wondered if any of you have managed to start reading some books in Scots. I've brought some books here that I think would make a good choice for you. So we'll split them up into different kinds and have a wee look at them. So the first ones I've got are books that are written in Scots. This is The Hullet That Couldna Fly. So this book is written completely in Scots. So it can make it a little bit more challenging to read if you don't speak Scots all the time. But if you read the words out loud, it tends to sometimes make more sense when you can sort of like hear the word rather than just reading it. Just because we're not used to it so much, whereas you'll hear Scots all the time, you're just less likely to see it written down. But we've got some great authors in Scotland doing that, like Emma Gray. She writes both for children and for adults. So there's like a few books by Emma that you can read to explore Scots, and you can get your family involved and your adults in your life to read them too. I would say this book, it's nice and short, 54 pages or something like that, so it's a nice wee one. What I would say is a wee trigger warning for sort of like the death of an animal, so like it might not suit where you are right now, or you might feel confident that you can read that, but it is a lovely little book. These books you might have seen, like adults in your life might have these books, but these are good books because they've been published every year, either the Bruins or Oor Willie, and they're comic books, and they're filled with Scots words, and so they're a great way to explore it because you've got the pictures that help illustrate what the words are saying. I've also got some books here that are translations. Again, this is another great way of reading in Scots when it's new or unfamiliar to you, because you'll probably know all these stories, but if you read them in these books, it will then sort of like help you understand what's happening. So the first one I've got is the Itchaku book of Hans Christian Andersen's Fairy Tales in Scots. So there's a variety of tales in this: The Princess and the Pea, The Ugly Ducky, and loads more. It's great, and there's lovely illustrations as well. I've got this one, Peppa's Bonny Unicorn. So if you or the younger children in your life fancy a picture book, this is a great one, Peppa's Bonny Unicorn, and it's her wee cuddy that they managed to turn into this special unicorn. We've got Room in the Broom in Scots. I've got Stick Manny in Scots. Loads of the Julia Donaldson books have been turned into Scots. There's also loads of the Roald Dahl books that have been translated into Scots. The next little collection of books are books that are written in English mainly, but there's Scots peppered throughout them. At the moment, I'm reading Callum and the Mountain by Alan McClure. It's proven to be a really good wee book. It starts in a wee Scottish village and something is going wrong. Some lovely vocabulary just dropped in there, and because it's written in an English sentence, it can be quite easy for you then to figure out what it means around it. Again, these other books are all the same. Mrs. White's daughter actually allowed me to borrow these books. They're Magnus Finn, and Magnus Finn has a secret ability. So there's a trilogy of them, 1, 2 and 3, and I bought these second hand after reading the copies that Mrs. White's daughter gave me, so it was lovely to get my hands on them, and again peppered with Scots vocabulary and based around Scots fairy tales, so that's really nice to have the sort of like cultural aspect as well as the Scots language. This book I read last year, I believe, and it's about Robert Burns' childhood, sort of, and how he might have came up with the story of Tam O'Shanter. It's a fantastic wee book. Again, it's like lots of Scots in it, and because of when Robert Burns was alive, it's the old-fashioned farming. I think it just gives a lovely sort of like feel for what life might have actually been like for him. Got scary bits in it. So if you don't like a scary book, this one's maybe not for you, but if you like a scary book, I would definitely say this one's for you. I haven't read, but the author reached out to say that she thinks these are good examples of having Scots words in them, so I'm quite excited to read them. This one's a nice wee short one. So that comes in at about 70-ish pages, so it's lovely and short. And Robert Burns makes an appearance in this book too. but there's also some great Scots vocabulary. And finally, The Reluctant Rebel, a Jacobite adventure. I know some of you in the school are learning about Jacobites. This is a fictional tale, but it's based on our history. I love historical fiction because I think it can really bring to life things that have happened in the past when you start to really sort of like get inside the head of people who lived then. So these are my suggestions for you, but hopefully you've maybe come up with some of your own, or you've maybe found some of the comics on scotshouse.com, because I think the graphic novels there are fantastic and they're a great way of being able to access our language, our traditional language, free. But remember, the library's there and lots of these books are available at the library. Also, if you come to a cosy reading, I'll be having some of these books available over the next few weeks, going into February as well, so that these books are available. Please let us know how you're getting on, whether you come up to talk to me in school or whether you want to share a photograph of a book that you're loving on X. I hope that you might find a new favourite story, because for me, Scots is a beautiful language and it's so expressive, and I love that sort of connection with my history, and I'd love to find out that maybe some of you feel the same. So good luck. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you soon.